do a second video to do the review on the Q7. So let's open up the F6 and I'll show you what's inside. Here's the display for the F6. As you can see, it's very compact. Inside this bag we have the OBD2 cable. This is the sticky pad you put on your dashboard. Here is the user guide. And this is the reflective screen you install onto your windshield. For the review of this head-up display unit, I'll be installing this into my 2008 Honda Odyssey. Now OBD2 is supported in most vehicles from 1996 onwards. And all you have to do is check under your dash to see if it has an OBD2 connector. So I've laid out all the parts here in my vehicle. Now the cable, the data cable you see over there is 4.5 feet long. The dimension of this display is 3.5 inch by 2 inch. So here we're looking at the driver's side steering column. If I bring the camera down underneath the dash, right there, you'll see the OBD2 connector. That's where we'll plug our data cable to. Now this connector is keyed, so the data cable that you're plugging into will only go in one direction. Just plug this in. After connecting the connector, now run this cable up to the top of the dash, keeping this cable away from all moving parts, like a brake pedal, your gas pedal. You slip this cable underneath the molding on the side here. Now you can connect the mini USB connector to the unit. Before using this, there's also a protective film on the display that you need to remove. Right now I'm pointing the head-up display onto a mirror so you can see the image correctly. I'm going to start the car so you can see how it powers up the first time. When I rev the engine, you can see the RPM, the tachometer reading on the head-up display also goes up. On the side, right here, if you push this rocker switch in, it'll scroll to a different display. Right now it's reading temperature in Celsius. This is the voltage of the battery. Press it again, it'll go back to speed. According to the manual, the bottom left-hand corner display are the alarms for voltage, temperature, and speed. Now at the top left-hand corner, it's hard to see, but there's actually a photo cell to automatically detect if it's nighttime or daytime. During the nighttime, it'll dim this display so it won't be so bright, and during the daytime, it'll go to full brightness. Now, if you live in the US, you know that the speed that you want to register on this display should be miles per hour, not kilometers an hour. Now, there's a way to change a unit on this. All you have to do is press the rocker switch in and hold it down for a few seconds. And then now, you're in the settings mode. Now, in this settings mode, if you push a switch again, you'll see the tachometer number will go up to menu 1, menu 2, menu 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To change a unit of the speed, you want to go to menu 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, it tells you that this menu is set to 1 for kilometers an hour. If you want miles per hour, you want to go to number 2. And we'll push the rocker switch up or down. Right now it pushed it up and it goes to 2 for miles per hour. The next menu, number 6, is to change the unit for the temperature measurement. By default is Celsius. Change it to number 2 and that'll be Fahrenheit. If you scroll to the next menu, menu 7, according to the manual, this is the power on and off voltage of the head-up display. You don't need to change anything on this. Now let's go back to menu 0. Okay, menu 0 is for you to calibrate the speed reading on this head-up display. So if you find that the reading on the head-up display is slightly off compared to what you're seeing on the instrument panel, then you can go into this menu here and set the value between 50 to 150. By default, it's 107. These number represents the percentage of that reading. So if you want to change this calibration, you can move the rocker switch up or down. So let's go to 100. So 100 represents 100% of the reading. If you find that it's reading too slow, then you can always increase this percentage to a higher value. Now let's go to menu number 1. Menu 1 is what they call the rotating speed, or RPM. So again, if you find that the reading on the head-up display is slightly off compared to your tachometer reading on your dash, then you can go into this menu, and the setting you can do is 50% to 150%. Right now by default it's 117%. You can decrease this value or you can increase this value. The next menu, menu 2, this is for the RPM alarm setting. Now because this unit has the ability to give you a beeping sound if you exceed a certain RPM, you can change that alarm threshold. So the setting in this menu is anywhere from 10 to 75. And that represents 1000 RPM to 7500 RPM. The default is 25. That represents 2500 RPM. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a higher value so that if I do hit the gas a little harder, it's not going to always beep at me. Let's set this to, say, 4500. The next menu, menu 3, this is for the speed alarm. So if you reach a certain speed, this unit will also beep at you. And the setting for this is anywhere from 30 to 500. And according to the manual, that represents 50% of the speed to 150% of the speed. And right now, the default value is 120. Go to menu 4. Now, menu 4 is for the automatic brightness. The default value is 0. That's automatic. So it'll dim itself at night and go to full brightness during daytime. Now, if you change this value to 1 or 2, 1 is the darker display and the 2 is the brighter display. So after you've set everything, you need to save this setting by pressing the rocker switch in for 5 seconds. As you can see, the display is now Fahrenheit. If I toggle the side switch here by pressing it one at a time, you see voltage. Now we're reading miles per hour. Another thing to note is that there's actually an on-off switch on the side here. So you can either turn on and off using that switch, or if you turn off the ignition, it will turn off this display automatically. So let's turn this off right now. I'll show you how it turns off on its own. So as you just saw, it turned off the unit automatically. Now let's turn the engine back on, and you'll see this unit power on its own. In order for the graphics from the head-up display to project properly onto the windshield, you will want to install this reflective film. The reason for that is because many vehicles have double layer of glass with a laminate in the middle. And because of the double layering of the glass, when you project the graphics from the head-up display onto the windshield, you'll get this double image. And it's kind of blurry. It's hard to see the graphics. So when you install this reflective screen onto the windshield, you avoid having that problem. Now, if you look at the reflective screen here, it's marked 1, and it says back. On the other side is 2, and it's front. So what this means is that the front side is a side that's going to be facing you when you install it. The back side, number 1, is going to adhere to the windshield. Another thing to know about this reflective screen is that it can be removed after installation. It's not like a window tint where there's a glue backing. Right now I'm going to install the reflective screen, and I've already removed the protective plastic at the back. Now if you read the manual, it does tell you that you can spray a little water onto the back surface and then use a squeegee to squeegee out any bubbles you might get. But you don't really have to. These go on pretty easily. So just carefully from top side to bottom side, just rub this on. So once that's on, now you can remove this piece of plastic. Now the kit comes with this sticky anti-slip mat. Go ahead and place this on the dash. Now you can place the head-up display unit on the sticky pad. So let's start the car up. I'll show you what the display looks like. So as you can see, the display is very clear. Now it's nighttime right now, so outside is pretty dark, but I'm going to go for a test drive so you can see how it looks during the nighttime.